Another popular dish around Easter time is, of course, a baked ham. Now, this is another time when we really like to use the convection feature. Typically, a recipe for ham says to wrap it tightly in foil and bake it in the oven for a fairly long period of time. When we have a ham like this that has not been cut, in other words, it's not a spiral ham, we actually put it in the pan on a rack and we don't cover it, because we know that with convection, the heat that circulates around the oven will gently penetrate from the edge into the center and warm the ham through perfectly. Because convection helps retain moisture in food, the ham will not dry out. We're going to choose the convection bake mode, 325 degrees. Now, we're using this mode because we know that in this mode we have heat from the top and bottom of the oven, but also the fan is circulating the heat around the meat. We're going to use the oven meat probe and program it to an internal temperature of 150 degrees. We have the meat on a rack in a shallow pan. Traditionally, we prefer to have the meat a little higher in the pan, but because the ham is not actually roasting or cooking, just heating through, it's going to be perfect in this glass casserole. As it gets to about 140, then we're going to glaze the ham with a nice apricot mustard glaze to give it that little extra succulence and flavor. We estimate that this almost 10-pound ham will take approximately an hour and a half to heat through. Just that last half hour, we're going to add into the oven this delicious casserole of gratin of potatoes and artichokes with cheese. This gratin will actually take about 40 minutes to cook, but you know the rule. The meat comes out of the oven and you have to rest it for 15, maybe 20 minutes before you can carve it. If you decide that you'd rather bake a spiral sliced ham, then please keep it wrapped up in the foil, because once the meat is sliced, it will begin to dry out in the oven, whether you use convection or traditional bake. So it's very simple. If you have a whole ham like this, just put it straight in the oven, convection 325, on the rack in the shallow pan. And then, of course, with the spiral sliced ham, just follow the manufacturer's directions for heating. But again, you can use convection. Just make sure you keep that foil on that sliced ham. Any which way you cook it, it's going to be delicious.